I'm gonna try to record a video. I have a little baby here. Well, he's not so little, but he might ask for some attention. So I don't know how far I will get, but I will give it a shot. So, what's this about? Yeah, so I got a request, and I already thought about this for a while. Is that let me see. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is about like balancing hormones as a woman and fertility, antibiotics, stuff like that. So as for diet, I noticed that my hormones started balancing out really when since I met Gatis actually. Why? Is because that's the moment when I really started to also eat raw fat. I had been eating some raw meat already, but not um, no butter, just some egg yolks, which is obviously not enough. So yeah, then I started eating some raw butter. I think that's very important for your hormones, not only for women, maybe a bit more to eat enough fat, but because you need some extra reserves to get pregnant, of course. He's looking outside. It's very exciting. Yeah, so I'm sorry if this is not really like a super straightforward video. I hope you can understand. That's when I really started noticing that my menstruation started being 28 days. Well, not my menstruation, but my cycle. So I had a cycle of 28 days. I would get my periods, which would last approximately like 4 days. Um, Very clear. Like you can see that the blood is clear and healthy. I think so. This is also another thing that diet definitely has an influence on. Another thing is that well, I was vegan also for over 2 years, very strictly, before I started eating raw meat. Um, that spring before I met Gatis. So I think my hormones were probably pretty messed up, also considering adrenal issues and sleeping problems, stuff like that. So yeah, that's another thing. Uh, let me check. I wrote some things down. Yes, you also if everything works well, you shouldn't really get any uncomfortabilities also during your periods. Like lots of cramping or headaches or back pain. Like I said, the blood should be pretty clear, which is also I think why you wouldn't have any like weird cramps because it's not super clotting the blood. Yeah, so as for that, what would you do then? Eat a lot. That's also very important. I've been struggling with eating disorders and stuff myself in the past, so I know for some women it can be really hard to like eat enough, but this is very important, especially if you want to have a healthy menstrual cycle and therefore be fertile and be able to get pregnant. Within 7 months, I got pregnant. So considering the treatment and all that stuff, yeah, that was no problem. Also, what would you do then if you don't want to get pregnant? Like alternatives for like birth control pills or like how do you call them? Spiraaltje in Dutch. I can't come up with the word now. But yeah, no like unnatural birth control basically, obviously, because this messes with your hormones or with your womb, literally. You should always get your period. That's it. You should get your period, you should bleed, you could also get chromatose if you wouldn't lose enough blood. I've actually had this in the past, so that's like a real thing. You can have an iron like saves the liver, basically, if I understand correctly. And that could potentially be dangerous. So that's sure not a healthy thing. You gotta bleed. You also want to get your ovulation. This is just a natural cycle. Another thing is birth control pills. This messes with your hormones in such an extent, to such an extent that you would even choose a different partner than you normally would. Your smell is different, so someone would also be attracted to you maybe that normally wouldn't, or the other way around. So that's another thing, like your partner choice, which obviously is very important in regards to fertility. And if you want to get pregnant, it could really mess with that. And another thing is if you quit, which is obviously the ideal, you can extract. Yeah. He's on the table. I'll see if he wants to get off the table. Also, of course, on what you guys want or have any suggestions. So, yeah, another thing is then, of course, how would you prevent getting pregnant? If you have a partner and you're not ready, or whatever reason you have, right? You could, of course, preferably you have like a natural diet. Then you know your cycle. You know when you ovulate. You can, if you are a bit in tune with your body, you can actually feel it. You should like feel something below in your close to your womb, obviously. So you can like feel like this little, like the egg is coming out, basically. This can be a tiny bit of like sort of like a menstrual cramp-ish thingy, and you should also have a different discharge, like kind of like egg white, funnily enough, and then you're fertile. So you gotta be really careful. This is actually, I think, tiny bit before you're fertile, so like you would wanna be careful around that time, either to like like go out before or be creative. Another thing, if you don't want to do that, is I guess it's a bit more risky, but this is what I came up with myself is so since I read that obviously lemon will kill sperm, you can you have these menstrual sponges that you can use. Obviously, super ideal when we're talking about this anyway. It's a sponge which you can use instead of like tampons and stuff if you don't like to use pads, which can be a bit annoying, or whatever reason you have, which is it can create like an environment for like yeast and whatever if you use pads. So that's another thing. It's like you don't even notice you have your period, other than that you know it, and maybe you feel something or whatever. It's more ideal than a menstrual cup. For me, that doesn't really work. It's like I don't like putting the plastic thing. It's I don't know, it's not my thing. So yeah, the sponge, you put it. It's like a sea sponge actually. You can cut it however you want. You have special sponges, menstrual sponges for this, and you you put a bit of water on it so it gets soft, and then you just put it in, and then after a few hours you take it out. That easy. You wash it again and you use it again. So also saves you tons of money, because it's super ecological in that sense. No waste. So that same sponge you can use with lemon right after you did have intercourse, and like you want to prevent getting pregnant, basically. So that would kill the sperm. I have no idea if this actually could be risky, so that's your own thing. This is just a tip what I would do if I don't want to get pregnant. And I read, funnily enough, later that's actually a thing that women used to do back in the day. So maybe this is something from, like, if you believe in like former lives or whatever, or something in the consciousness of women in general, like, but yeah, the idea came to me, and yeah, this is actually what they used to do. That's simple. I have no idea where it came from, that we have to use all these unnatural things with like super many risks. And yeah, there's always a risk. If you have sex, you risk getting pregnant. That's what sex is ultimately for. Not only, of course, yes, there's pleasure to it, and it's okay if you have sex for pleasure, like, but yeah, that's the thing. That's always a risk. But another thing is, you could actually have a cosmobiological ovulation. I don't know if that was for me like the case when I got pregnant. I felt when I got pregnant, by the way, there was a tiny bit of blood also, which was exactly a year after we spoke for the first time. So that was kind of like weird coincidence, like exactly the same day, just a year later, and then he was born on his birthday. So, yeah, interesting. Okay, what else? Let me check. Yeah, for sure. Another thing, what is important for your hormones is definitely to get enough sun, enough sleep. Obviously, eat well, be hydrated, move, do some exercise. Nothing heavy, but some weight training won't hurt you. As a woman, uh, it's also good. And actually, when you're pregnant, I would recommend keep working out. You will, after you deliver your child, get back in shape, just like that. It's like muscles have memory, right? So, for example, your stomach, if you have done stomach exercises, it will automatically, the skin and everything will just go back around the muscles, and um, yeah, that's it. They said, like, where's your stomach? Like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh yeah, I looked so, but yeah, no, my body looked pretty good after pregnancy, and you don't have to get fat or anything at all. Actually, if you breastfeed, and this is something I will make a video about for sure once, because this is so important. Um, anyway, he's now 16 months old, and I still breastfeed, and he definitely still wants it. He's definitely still needs it. So to stop way before that just can't be right. So yeah, that's another thing. Of course, you want also to eat well, and if you want anything specific, I can maybe sometime make a video about it as well, like things to eat or whatever. But obviously, you know me from Saria's channel, so like what things are like good to eat, and I don't have to like get into that much. I think yeah, there are certain things I think are pretty okay to eat too after you give birth, for example, and you breastfeed, like sweet potatoes or whatever. Because if you eat a healthy diet and you breastfeed, chances are you will lose weight, or it's hard to maintain weight at least. So yeah, that's very important. Get enough fat, get enough in, like, eat. Like, for people who have a hard time with that, like I did, you just really gotta really, like, almost stop yourself. Actually, while speaking, I should actually eat. So, but that's the thing, like, try to listen to that, like, notice when you are hungry. Very important for women to maintain a good cycle and have good fertility. Okay, so yeah, the sun, very important, of course. Also vitamin D, if you know, you probably know, this is also a very important factor with the regulation of your sex hormones. So very important. Obviously, one thing is out of balance, everything will be. So very important, sun, 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 sun. Saying in a country where there's almost never sun. There is now. But very important. Sleep, very important. I'm also saying that, well, I'm not the best sleeper. But yeah, that's a world of difference. A world of difference. And sleep regulates everything. Your memory, your hormones, your energy, obviously, just everything. Very, very underrated, I think. And 8 hours might not be enough for you. I personally do well with 9, but that's also because of the burnout. So the reason why you want to work out is for picking up the children. Like, I think women would obviously do that. Yeah. In nature a lot, maybe also children of other women, like they would be together, they would take care of the children, they would make clothes, they would maybe gather some yeah, like fruits or whatever. I also think, actually, can you hear me? I hope it all still works. Yeah, I think women also hunt. Myself, I really have this instinct that I want to hunt. I can't imagine that I'm the only woman, and I know there's women who get their hunting degree and everything, license, sorry. So yeah, for sure. Women hunt as well. Men all. Quit any medication if you can, and trust in your own healing. When you properly fuel your body, it will do the work for you. Sometimes easier said than done, but try to settle it so you have a steady lifestyle. Get some exercise too, like I said already. That's important also while being pregnant. Yeah, that's another thing. This is not just about looks, this is about feeling well and be able to take care of yourself and your child. Speaking of beauty, there is no better tool to be beautiful than health. If you have a natural glow, you don't need highlighter. He would love to be on my lap now and be here also. Wat doe je allemaal? Wat is het nou? Wat ik zelf? He's pulling me. Okay, I'll keep this short. I already went a bit over my, but it's also hard when I can't use the mouse. One sec. Hey, okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I'm making a video. One sec. Yeah, there's other things, but I think generally, okay, you get an idea. If there's anything else or that I forgot, I'll just make another video again. So, thank you.